More and more, families are feeling weighed down by the chaos and clutter in their homes. What if there was a way to make your spaces happier? I'm Briana Bosch, and we've spent years downsizing, simplifying, and realigning our lives to be more in tune with nature. We sold everything, bought a farm, and learned step by step how to restore peace at home. Now I'm helping others do the same.
Holly, welcome to your retreat!
What? My God.
Oh my God.
Let's make spaces well again. Welcome to Holistic Home. My name is Briana, and welcome to Blossom and Branch Farm. We actually moved to the farm from our dream house. We had a beautiful house that we had just remodeled and refinished the basement, and my husband had gotten his perfect basement entertainment space and beer tap, and it was a perfect, beautiful space, but something in my heart was calling me back to the land and to the soil. And so we gave all of that up and we moved to a tiny house, and we have been working on reconnecting our kids with what it's like to be outside and what it is to play outside from sunrise until sunset, and letting them be educated by the land. My husband wasn't always in on this plan with me, but as we've been here, I think he's really been able to see how being on the farm has changed me, how it's changed our kids, and how it's really altered our lifestyle and made us all happier. We had our dream home in our last house, but something about that house didn't make me feel rooted. There was something that was missing in that space. And it's so important for our home space, the space that we share with our family, to have some sort of roots. And typically, the root of the home is the kitchen, because it's where we spend so much time, it's where we gather, it's where we celebrate things. And so the kitchen really is both the heart and the roots of the home. Nate and Emily are parents of a beautiful 1-year-old girl, so they're busy, they work full-time jobs, and they have this home that they've been able to purchase that is right next door to their parents. So it's already has some sort of root, they're already setting up their family there. And the kitchen, especially in Nate and Emily's home, the kitchen is connected to the rest of all of the rooms. And so you see it from everywhere. So because they're really not feeling connected to that space, it's impacting every piece of their life.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
How are you?
We're good. How are you? Your place is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You should have seen it before.
Tell me about it.
So we redid all of the flooring. There was pretty ugly carpet in here, and then redid the entire staircase and paint on the walls.
So we've lived here for 6 months, and they kind of just fell into our laps. We're actually next door to Emily's parents.
We were really drawn to the layout of the house, but if you had seen it before, it was definitely a fixer-upper. But we walked in, from the moment we stepped into the house, we just felt like it was our home. We could see, raising our family here and letting them run next door to Grandma and Grandpa's, and we just knew that this was the house we wanted our kids to grow up in.
Yeah, there's a park across the street, there's a golf course in the neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood to be in, so we were excited to move in.
I can tell that you've done a lot, because usually this era of house was a lot of darker wood, and this feels very light and bright, and the big windows really pull in so much light. It is beautiful what you guys have done. I'm so impressed.
We just haven't quite made it to the kitchen yet, which still has that dark old wood. So
Let's take a look.
So here it is.
Okay, so first of all, this kitchen is beautiful. I mean, you can tell that someone has put a lot of thought into all of these finishes. So tell me what you guys think about it. Tell me what you don't like about your kitchen.
We think it's a really nice kitchen, but I just don't feel like it flows with the rest of the house. Everything else is so bright and airy, and then you come in here and it just feels kind of dark and gloomy compared to the rest of the house.
I can see that especially because the kitchen is in the center of the house, which is great because the kitchen is kind of the heart of the home, right? So it's wonderful that it's in the middle, but because it's in the middle, you don't get that direct light like you have in the rest of the house, all these big windows.
Right.
This space, so even though, there's light coming from here, it does feel a little bit dark.
The kitchen functionally is great. I can move around it easily. I love cooking in it, but it just feels dark. It just doesn't flow with the rest of the house. I feel like when I walk from the living room into the kitchen, I'm like entering a different house.
So right away, when we walked into Nate and Emily's kitchen, I knew we were going to paint those cabinets. They are beautiful cabinets, and normally I love anything wood-toned. Natural wood is always beautiful, but because the kitchen has no windows, it was really sucking the light out of the room. When we sat down and talked about it, we knew we wanted to go in a lighter direction, and already with how light and bright her house is, we knew we needed to tie that together. So painting the cabinets and lightening up that backsplash were going to be a great way to go. Now, normally I love wood and I love wood tones and how that kind of pulls nature in. But you already have so much going with all of these big windows. You have lots of greenery. It feels very natural in here. How would you feel about possibly painting these cabinets?
I'm up for that.
Yeah, seems good.
I know it can be kind of a drastic change, but I think that just lightening up some of this dark wood tone would really make it feel a little bit different. I'd like to pull in a little bit of those lighter tones that you have, all the bright whites. How would you feel about some kind of natural green, sagey color?
I would love that. I feel like the rest of the house is so white, like you said, that we almost need a little bit of color in here.
Yes,
So
yeah,
that
I think a
sounds great.
little bit would be great. What are your thoughts on this backsplash that you have?
I'm not a huge fan of the backsplash. I just feel like it's really busy and kind of the cream brown tones just don't flow with the rest of the house.
Right, you have a lot of brighter whites in the rest of the house.
Right.
So I do see what you're saying, and as busy parents, trying to keep a mosaic backsplash clean, there's so much grout, and because it's behind the stove, stuff is splashing up on there.
Right.
So maybe something with less grout lines would be better for you.
That would be great. That sounds amazing.
And I think maybe something that, a little bit more minimal with grout lines, so not so contrasty, to kind of make it flow a little bit more in this space.
Yeah, I would love something really simple and clean for the backsplash.
The layout of their kitchen is already great. It functions really well for them, so we don't have to make any major changes there. But there are a few things design-wise that are going to have to change to make this space feel more cohesive with the rest of their home. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be swapping out the backsplash. The mosaic backsplash is a little dark for Emily's taste, and we also want to bring in something that's easier to clean. Because they're a young family, they have a 1-year-old, they're doing a lot of cooking, but they don't have a lot of time to clean all of those grout lines. So we're going to bring in a nice white backsplash with clean grout lines that's going to be really easy to just wipe down and not as many grout lines to scrub. The other thing we're going to be switching out is the poles. So swapping out your cabinet poles is a really great and quick way to change the feel of your kitchen. And because they have this kind of lighter modern theme, we're going to bring in some modern looking poles that are going to tie in with the new chandelier that they're getting. So their chandelier now is a little bit broken. It doesn't quite fit with the theme of the rest of their house as they've updated it. So we're going to update that chandelier with a really stunning new one that's going to tie in with those poles and also with the new pendants over the island. So I think we have a plan. I mean, cabinets, backsplash, some updated lighting, and this space is gonna feel completely different.
Oh, I can't wait. I feel like this kitchen, with it being in the center of the house, we spend so much time in it. And whenever we have company over, we're always surrounding that island. And every time that we're hanging out in the kitchen, I just feel like everyone is kind of enclosed in around us. I would just love to see it brightened up and just happy and warm. We're starting a family in this house, so I would love to see the kitchen just become a place where we're comfortable and where we feel good spending all of our time there.
To bring nature in to Nate and Emily's kitchen, what we're going to do is we're going to go and pull some eucalyptus from one of our tunnels. It's overwintering right now, so it's early spring, it's just starting to green up, and it has this sort of beautiful neutral green color. Instead of being so bright green, it's this sort of sagey, washed out, beautiful neutral green, and it's going to tie in really well with the rest of their house. So we're going to use the Color Reader EZ to get a good read off of that eucalyptus leaf, and we're gonna pull that into those cabinets. Data Color makes this really amazing tool that is so helpful for homeowners. You can just go and pull any color that is inspirational to you and right away pull up the paint color. So we're gonna be using that on our eucalyptus leaves. We're gonna exactly match that tone and really pull some nature into their kitchen space. One of my favorite things that we grow here at the farm is this eucalyptus. So even though it's not something that is so overly green, it has these kind of sagey greens, and I love this color, and I want to pull this into the kitchen cabinets. Because we're kind of trying to go with that nature color in the kitchen, I think this is going to be the perfect neutral for Emily and Nate. Because it's not so bold and bright and in your face with the green, but it's a little bit more of that neutral that's gonna tie in with the rest of their house. So I wanna make sure that we get as close to this color as possible. So I'm gonna pull a couple leaves, and we're gonna use the Color Reader EZ by Data Color, and I'm going to use the app. So all I have to do is I'm gonna pull up the app, I'm gonna get my color reader ready, so I'm gonna make sure that the little camera is open on the back. I'm gonna hold this flat up against the leaf, and we're just gonna push the button and see what we get. I love the fact that you can take the Color Reader EZ anywhere. I can bring it literally into the field with me and pull colors that I'm inspired by and then put them right onto people's cabinets. I think this is just the coolest tool. And it's coming up with perfect matches for all of the different tones in this eucalyptus leaf. So I think we're gonna pick the perfect sage and we're gonna put it right on those cabinets. My hope is that in having this beautiful green, this sagey neutral green on Emily and Nate's cabinets, that it's going to make them feel a little bit more connected with nature, a little bit more in touch with those roots, and it's also going to pull in some of the beautiful scenery and the nature that is existing outside of their home and bring it a little bit more into the interior of their home. Painting cabinets is a really impactful change you can make in a kitchen. It is a big change and you don't want to have to do it more than one time. So if we can get the exact paint color that we want the first time, we're going to save money and we're going to save a lot of time and effort in going back and forth to the paint store. So we're going to use the Color Reader so that we can get the exact read on the paint color the first time and not have to do it again. One of the problems with Nate and Emily's kitchen is that as you're standing there in the kitchen, gathering around the island, you're kind of trying to talk around these giant pendants that are hanging down right in your face. So what we'd like to bring in is a clear pendant so that you can either talk through them or you can see through them easily and they're not obstructing your vision as you're trying to talk to someone across the island. So in a quite literal fashion, we're going to be using one of the Phillips collection pieces. And this piece is so stunning and so beautiful, and it literally is a tree root. And we're hoping that just bringing that wood back into the kitchen is going to really establish that rooted feeling for Nate and Emily and for their new family in their home. The kitchen is really the heart of the home. It really establishes the roots of our family and of ourselves. Just like the roots of plants help them uptake nourishment, there are lots of different ways to make sure that we have good roots, but also there's lots of great ways to make sure that our plants have good roots. So one of the things we like to do at the farm to make sure our plants are extra healthy is to start them in soil blocks. Soil blocking is a great way to establish the best roots you possibly can when gardening or growing any kind of plants. So let's take a look at how we go about soil blocking and how it can benefit you. Just as the kitchen is the heart of the home and it's important to establish roots, especially at the heart of the home, we do the same thing here at the farm. So one of the things we do at the farm to make sure we're giving ourselves the healthiest plants that we can is a process called soil blocking. So where traditional seed starting usually happens in a tray, in a plastic tray where the roots are encased on all sides by plastic, soil blocking actually mimics a plant's natural growth. So in nature, when roots hit the air, they automatically prune, which means they stop. In a seed tray, what happens is those roots hit the side of the plastic and they start to circle. So within that tray, they're becoming root bound. It's not very natural when you consider that plants in nature are actually just meant to keep establishing their roots further and further out into the soil. This is why seedlings that are grown in a tray actually tend to get root bound and then they struggle. So when we plant them out into the field, they tend to get things like transplant shock. They also struggle more with drought and they're more pest prone. So what we do is this soil blocking, which creates a more natural root system for them. It creates a really healthy and thick root system through this air pruning. So we start everything in these soil blocks. It actually uses a lot less plastic, which is also really great for the environment. And it creates really strong and healthy roots. Roots are the foundation of healthy flowers. Roots are the foundation of everything that we do here at the farm. And it's also the foundation of everything that you do at your home and of your family. Obviously, we grow flowers here at the farm. But during the off season, the colder months when we don't have flowers blooming, we still like to incorporate a little bit of nature into your space. And this is a great thing that you can do at home as well. Instead of just thinking about cut flowers being the only thing that you can bring in to bring in that touch of nature, you can think about all kinds of things. So in the winter time, we like to bring in evergreen boughs and dried flowers. And in the spring, we really like to use branches. So what we do is we go out and we find branches. They can be from apple trees, cherry trees, bushes, or shrubs that are just about to bloom. Cut them, bring them inside, put them in some warm water, and within a couple weeks, they'll be blooming for you and putting on a beautiful display in your home. Okay, Nate and Emily, your kitchen before was a little bit dark. It didn't go with the rest of your house, which you have done so much work to, and it's so light and bright and beautiful. The kitchen was beautiful, but it didn't quite have the feel of you guys. So what are you the most excited about in the kitchen?
I can't wait to see the cabinets.
I'm excited to see the table.
The table, I can't wait for you to see the table. The table is amazing.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, us too.
Okay, Nate and Emily, come see your new kitchen.
Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Look at this table.
It's incredible.
Oh my gosh. We love it. It is so amazing. We are obsessed.
I am so happy that Nate and Emily love their new kitchen. As soon as they walked into the space, it was like they lit up, they instantly felt at home, and I could already see Emily starting to plan some meals that she was going to make in that kitchen.
Oh my gosh, the cabinets look so good.
I am so happy that we went with this color for the cabinets. Do you guys like it?
I love it. I think it's so perfect.
Yeah, it matches the black countertops really well.
It makes the black countertops look so intentional because before, I mean, I'm sure you guys remember, it was the dark wood.
It just feels so much lighter in here.
Yeah.
I love it. The first thing I noticed was definitely the paint color. It's so bright and light in there. I just am so excited to spend time in that kitchen.
Yeah, it's exactly what we were going for.
This green was actually inspired from the farm. So we have some eucalyptus that we've been overwintering in a tunnel. So right now it's kind of this washed out sagey kind of neutral green, and we use the color reader EZ from Data Color to directly read that color and put it on your cabinet. So that's where the inspiration for this cabinet color came from. And it made picking a color so easy because we could literally look at it, click the button, select that color, and put it right on the cabinets.
Wow, that's amazing. I just think it's absolutely perfect for our kitchen. It looks so good.
And look how you guys are just talk to each other from across the island, and you didn't have to like do this weird awkward dance
around the pendants.
Like glass so you can see through it.
I love that. I was really hoping for glass, so this looks really good. I love it.
Did you notice the backsplash?
Yeah, it's like perfect.
It's so like clean and fresh. I love this so much. Oh my gosh.
And
that
picture
looks amazing.
cooking, right? Like you splash some
Yes.
tomato sauce on there. You don't have to scrub it out of 18 grout lines.
Yeah. I need to see this table again.
Please take a look at the table. This is
so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
This
Look at
real
that.
wood?
So this is the table from the Phillips collection. So this is reclaimed, sustainable wood,
Wow.
which obviously whenever we're buying new pieces, buying something that's going to be an investment, buying something that's thoughtful and intentional and caring for the environment is always a great thing. And this piece
Wow.
is so, it just exudes kind of this warmth. You know, we talked a lot about the heart of the home and the kitchen being the heart. And I think pulling in this big literal tree root, it's like now your family can put down some roots in this house. And
it's gorgeous. I love it. I love the Phillips collection table. I just feel like the natural wood with the roots, it just makes everything feel really grounded in there and just clean, and I love it.
It's like the roots of our home.
The light fixture above it, and that's so much better. The other one was just broken. We'd hit our heads on it.
And
That
these-
looks so good.
I think this, how it pops against this new color and the greens.
And the floors, it just all
Yeah.
goes so well together.
Did you notice your planter?
The bench? Oh my gosh! That's so cute with the little cozy pillows.
I know you guys
sit
are
up back
sad to have lost your living room planter.
We were gonna plant a lot of
I know,
things.
you're
It's actually a garden.
We had big plans. That looks so good.
It's extra seating. You know what's great about this
Yeah.
kind of open concept is when you have parties, when you have people over, now you can really flow. There's a place to sit here. People can
Right.
have a conversation while you're in the kitchen.
That looks so good. I love the color for it too. Is that the same as the paint? The
It
cabinet?
ties in with the cabinet, so it kind of incorporates the white, the
I
green.
love that. It's crazy the difference that color can make. I just cannot even believe how much better that room feels just by painting the cabinets. I mean, such an easy fix for such a huge change.
Yeah, it's such a small upgrade to the kitchen, but it totally takes it to a different level.
And because your space, you know, is so intertwined between the living room and the kitchen, we also wanted to make sure we made this space still feel cohesive, which it already was, but we updated a couple things. So we brought in some more greenery just to kind of coordinate these
Love
colors.
it.
We also updated your cushions on your couch to
I
kind of
love
pull in
those.
some of those tones.
Yeah, those are so fun. I just think that looks so much better and like brighter in here too.
I really want to jump on this couch and like just
Yeah.
between this couch and the little seating area, it feels so cozy.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I just think it all flows so nicely.
I love it. I might stay here and have some dinner with you guys.
Please do.
At your
Please
beautiful
do.
table.
Yeah, sit at our table. This is amazing. I can't believe that this is going to be our kitchen to like live in. We get to cook in this every night. This is amazing.
I'm so
so
glad you
happy.
guys love it. I'm so happy that you love it. Kitchens are so important. We spend so
Yeah.
much time in the kitchen.
All of our time.
Yes, and your
Yeah.
family, we're always gathering around this space. So I'm so happy that it feels now more like a reflection of Nate and Emily. And I think you guys are now all over this kitchen.
I feel like the kitchen before was just so cluttered and dark, and it just was like energy draining. And now I feel like it's warm and it's soft, and I can relax in that kitchen and, you know, feed my daughter, give her meals in that kitchen. And I just see us as a family there, and it's just warm and inviting.
It feels more open too, so it's, you know, don't feel so closed in.
I see us using this space as an entertainment space, having guests over, obviously cooking. I can't wait to cook in this kitchen. I think it's going to be a really fun place to, and you know, warm and cozy place to hang out.
I think we'll spend a lot of time here as a family together, just hanging out.
Yeah. I think the space just makes me feel overall happier being in my house. We spend so much time in our kitchen and in our den watching TV and hanging out with our daughter. So I just feel like, having that kitchen to look onto and spend time in, it just makes me more excited to come home.
Yeah, I can really see how, as our family grows, the kitchen will grow with our family and support all the fun times and loving dinners we'll have over the years.
So I think it's going to be a great place for all of them as their baby gets older, as they start to celebrate more things around that island, around that beautiful kitchen table. I think they're going to really be so happy in that space. Simple changes like switching out cabinet pulls, a fresh coat of paint, or switching out a backsplash, or even just adding a plant here and there can be a real breath of fresh air for your home. And the more you feel at home, the more you're going to feel rooted in your space, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the more you'll be able to thrive. Now that Nate and Emily's kitchen is done and it feels more light and bright and more like them, they're going to be able to really put out the roots that they need to establish the home base for their growing family.